It's Saturday night. And we're going to talk a little Friday Night SmackDown. Some of you might not believe me. It wasn't that bad of a show. Now, some of the creative moves that Triple GPT, I don't necessarily agree with. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. But Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Sami Zayn, in my honest opinion, still the most enjoyable thing right now in WWE. Specifically for Sami Zayn. I like what's going on there. We gotta end this Jey Uso narrative, man. It's gotta end. It's gotta end. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody cares for it, except for the people who are spending half of a lung to sit in the live audience yeeting. And Liv Morgan, who, by the way, is still the WWE Women's World Champion, is in the finals of a tournament to determine who will challenge for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Saturday night, the venue's open. Nobody gives a shit about Collision. And on this Saturday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there. WWE has failed creatively. AEW has failed fundamentally. So why did Triple H lose the plot? Why did Tony Khan abandon everything that made AEW special? Because nobody is committed to the one thing that actually matters. Long-term booking. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Friday night Saturday night SmackDown post show for your June 20th, 2026. I'm your host, JD from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden on this beautiful Saturday night. Thank you guys very much for joining me wherever you may be. Why am I live on a Saturday night, not on a Friday night? Well, I was in Chicago since Thursday. I landed in Chicago around 3 p.m. on Thursday afternoon. Had myself a nice Thursday afternoon with absolutely nothing to worry about, nothing to do. And then we had House of Glory, HOG Inferno on Friday night. I was on the call with the one and only Solomonster, and we had a great show in Chicago. I honestly think it was our best, and I told HOG management this as I left the building. This was the best show that we've done so far in Chicago. Energy was off the charts. The performances from everybody, top to bottom, were spot on. We had two mega main events. Amazing Red and Ricky Sosa. Bang, bang, Ricky Sosa. That was a great match. And then we had Nick Nemeth, who's one of the best pro wrestlers in the world, even still. Always great to see Nick Nemeth. He wrestled for the HOG World Championship. Charles Mason put that on the line in the main event. We had Shotzi and Steph DeLander. That was for the HOG Women's Championship. And my guy Raheem Royal, if you guys were watching the stream last night, jumped off the balcony at Logan Square Auditorium, legitimately right in front of me and Jason while we were doing commentary. I mean, the guy flipped backwards off the balcony onto everybody in a six-way match and landed on his feet. This was higher and more dangerous than what he did in Las Vegas at the Palms Casino. And he landed on his feet there. The fact that he landed on his feet last night on Friday night was fucking unreal. And it was crazy. It was crazy. Now, there seems to be some confusion. I'm not really at liberty to discuss business because I don't really know what's going on. I know there are discussions and pieces need to be put where they need to be. But last night was our last show on Triller. There will be no more HOG on Triller TV Plus. For whatever reason, that relationship and partnership is now moving on. Both sides have been happy to work with each other for the last several years. I don't know where we're going to end up. I know there are people internally pushing for HOG to use the YouTube platform and stream their next show on YouTube, which I think would be the best idea. I don't know exactly if that's going to end up being the case, but I know there's discussion of whatever it is on social media that people already assume that HOG will end up on my AEW. I don't know for sure. I don't know exactly what's going on there. We all know why my AEW exists in the first place, because they're basically telling you without actually telling you themselves that they're basically getting booted off of Warner Brothers Discovery. So they're trying to get everything in place, and good on them for doing it now. It's just you'll never hear a peep out of anybody or a peep out of any of these shill podcasters out there in the community about what exactly is going on. You know, a pro wrestling promotion is not going to hoard all of the independent pro wrestling promotions that exist in the United States and put them on a platform that they are basically turning into a mini WWE network. I mean, am I not allowed to just kind of call out what's exactly going on here? Or do you guys seem to still doubt Nick Lopiccolo? Seems like for the last 18 months, the man's been spot on. We'll see what's going on. We'll see what's going on. But I don't know exactly what's going on there, but YouTube is probably going to be the destination. And I think that's the right move to make. I think we'll kill it on YouTube. So I want to thank everybody for showing up last night. We had a great show. I want to thank Johnny and his family for showing up last night. Johnny, if you're watching, thank you again, brother. Thank you for the cookies. The cookie really hit the spot after a night of pro wrestling and a couple of old fashions at the end of the show. So got back to the hotel room and the cookies really hit the spot. So thank you and the wife and the kids for showing up and being a fan of what we do. Really appreciate you guys and everybody else that showed up there, that said what's up and really had some really nice things to say about House of Glory and both the work that me and Jason do here on YouTube. You guys killed it. Thank you very much. Looking forward to the next. I think we'll be back in Chicago at least one more time this year. And we have High Intensity coming up on August 7th. That will be right here in New York City, Queens, NYC Arena. It is going to be the biggest show that we put on all year. Always is. SmackDown. You know, I heard from a lot of people, and I think some people are really just kind of disingenuous, or they kind of want to get me riled up, and they really want me to just kind of shit on a show just for the sake of shitting on the show, because I guess that's more entertaining to them. That would have been the old way to do things here, but, the last several years, I feel like we put out some of the best content that we have. And all the time I've been on YouTube, I feel like I'm a little bit better of a content creator than I was all those years ago when I was just an amateur baby in this entire genre. I watch things with my own two eyes. I make my own assessments. I make my own judgments. SmackDown, I think you and I and everybody else can agree, has largely been a piece of shit television show. There's nothing about the show that is redeeming at all. And at 3 hours, it is a laborious watch. There's nothing fun about it. Everything from the top of the way that they do things at the start of the show all the way up until what they do is until the show is over. It's just very difficult to watch. Very difficult to watch. There's not enough characters that we genuinely care about. The stories are very weak. Some divisions are sorely lacking. And I think that's pretty much a common thread throughout the entire community. I think we all kind of feel that same way about SmackDown. Last night, I watched this on the plane at the airport on the way to boarding the airplane today. And I watched the rest of it on the airplane, which, honestly, the flight from Chicago to New York City was 1 hour and 30 minutes because we had some good winds help us out getting us to New York City. So it was a nice, easy watch. I thought last night's show was pretty decent. For the most part. I thought last night's show was pretty decent. Wasn't a great show by any means, but in this sea of Friday nights that we get that are largely just fucking horrible, I thought last night was a pretty decent show. They really built it up as a show that has somewhat of importance going into Night of Champions, and we had 2 semifinal matches for the King and Queen of the Ring. So we were going to get that all laid out and finalized, and we were going to get a full Night of Champions card kind of fleshed out. And then we had that WWE Championship match, which went commercial free at the start of the show. I thought they were going to close the show with it. I don't know why they opted to open the show with it. But, which was weird. When I first turned SmackDown on, I watched it on a VPN. And obviously, I thought the WWE Championship match was going to be on in the main event. It was not. So to see it open the show was a little surprised. I'm like, well, that's odd. Why would they do this in the open of the show and not in the main event? They actually closed with Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair. Like, I don't really understand that decision. But I guess it's the way that they kind of overbooked the WWE Championship match, and they restarted the match at one point. They opened the show with the WWE title match. Cody, Gunther, Sami Zayn's a special guest referee. They really wanted to give this show somewhat of an important feel going into Night of Champions week. We got 1 Raw and 1 SmackDown left. I thought it was a decent show. I thought what they did with the WWE Championship match was largely the way that I expected it to be. I thought Sami's inclusion in the special guest referee spot, I thought was really spot on. I thought what he did was exactly what needed to be. He's still the most interesting character in all of WWE right now, whether you want to admit it or not. Sami Zayn is a very, very intriguing aspect to the overall storylines that we're getting right now. Whether you like him or not, or whether you think he looks homeless or not a world champion or not, I don't really give a shit what people think about Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn and his work is still the most intriguing aspect of the show. I thought what they did was really good. I didn't mind the restart. The only part of that I did mind is the fact that it made Gunther look like a fucking idiot. And we'll explain why I felt that way. They didn't really make Gunther look good. They didn't really make Gunther look like a ring general on Friday night. This guy begged, pleaded, got lawyers involved for a WWE Championship rematch against Cody Rhodes because he cried that his boot was underneath the rope in Italy. And then all it takes is little old Sami Zayn to make a referee call he didn't agree with. and he ends up powerbombing Sami Zayn? He legitimately put his hands on a sanctioned official. An official that he chose. And he ruined the entire match for himself. I don't really understand why, but I guess we had to get to a triple threat match if not of champions. It's the only thing I could think of. Jey Uso. Everybody was looking at this to see how WWE would play it out. Jey Uso is in the finals. He beat Javon Evans last night. We're now looking at Jey Uso and Oba Femi in the finals in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions for the King of the Ring crown. We have Monday Night Raw. Monday, they're in London. If Brock Lesnar does not attack Oba Femi on Monday, I'm giving it till Monday. We have 36 hours or so till Monday Night Raw, a little bit more than that. If Brock Lesnar doesn't show up on Monday, obliterate Oba Femi and leave that spot vacant for someone else to fill in. Jey Uso is winning King of the Ring. I don't see how WWE has Oba Femi and Jey Uso go all the way to Saudi and we don't see Brock Lesnar. I don't see how WWE is going to constantly push Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar and the narrative that Oba still wants Brock and a third match with Brock. I don't get how he has legitimately called him out the last 3 weeks and Brock Lesnar does not appear. Now, if I'm Brock, I said this on Monday, if I'm Brock, I don't really give a shit what Oba Femi's doing. I beat him. I showed everyone that I could beat Oba Femi. He did say that they are now 1+1. He beat Oba. He has no reason to fight Oba anymore. He beat Oba. He got his rematch. He beat Oba. That's it. He can go and do whatever else he wants to do. If I'm Brock, I'm waiting for Oba to win the King of the Ring. Because you would think, and this is just the way that I think, maybe I'm off. Maybe someone can chime in and tell me, JD, I think you're wrong there. I think, and I think Brock would think, that if you look at the field of the King of the Ring participants this year, that Oba Femi had a very, 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 very good chance of winning the entire thing. And I think Brock kind of knew that. So if you're Brock Lesnar, why aren't you going to wait for Oba Femi to win the King of the Ring? Get your championship match against Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. Beat either Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. And then get your third match and beat Oba Femi for said world championship. And get a world championship match out of it. I mean, that's what I would do if I'm Brock Lesnar. Oba Femi's calling Brock Lesnar out because Oba Femi wants to beat Brock Lesnar. He wants to retire Brock Lesnar. He wants Brock Lesnar's head on a platter. He wants that Brock Lesnar head kind of plastered on his wall above his fireplace. But Brock's going to do what Brock's going to do. I guess we don't really need much of an explanation as to why Brock is going to do what Brock wants to do. Brock's unhinged. If Brock continues to get called out and be dehumanized, and if Oba continues calling him a bitch, I guess Brock can come out and kind of act maniacal the way he usually does. Cause a scene. This is why I said I'm giving it till Monday. Monday will have a little bit more of a reveal of where we're going. If Brock Lesnar doesn't show up on Monday and actively take Oba Femi out of the tournament, and we legitimately get Oba Femi versus Jey Uso in the finals of the King of the Ring. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you that Jey Uso is the 2026 King of the Ring, and I think that's fucking deplorable. I think it's fucking awful. And I think Triple H should be actively removed from his position as head of creative. I genuinely don't believe how we're sitting here talking about Jey Uso in the summer of 2026 wrestling either Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes in the main event of SummerSlam, a two-night SummerSlam. We've all talked about every possible solution, every possible way out. I mean, I did it with Jason on Tuesday Night Titans this week. A lot of the narrative and a lot of what people actually want is for Oba to be removed from the tournament so that we don't have to beat Oba Femi. What that means, what that looks like, I don't know. But there are two names that people have sat on. Randy Orton, who we haven't heard from since WrestleMania, and CM Punk, who we haven't heard from since the Raw after WrestleMania. Does Brock Lesnar show up at the O2 Arena on Monday in London and take out Oba Femi, which then leaves both Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis scrambling to find a fill-in replacement for Oba Femi? Now, does that tarnish the tournament? Yes, it does. It basically renders the tournament meaningless because everybody else had to fight their way through this 16-man tournament through fatal four-ways, semifinals, and the finals for ultimately somebody who does not compete in the tournament to fill that open spot and then get the finals against Jey Uso. Does it tarnish the tournament? Yes, it does. But WWE really isn't a company that relies on booking good tournaments. They don't give a fuck. As evidenced by this King and Queen of the Ring tournament, which they've largely used both tournaments to forward and funnel current storylines that you're featuring on TV instead of giving us the highest of competition, the best quality of matches. That's what the tournament should really be giving us. Yet they've used it for Jey Uso Bloodline slop. They used it for Judgment Day slop. It's just a fact. If WWE finds a replacement for Oba Femi, it does tarnish the tournament. I think everybody's hoping and praying that that is the case. Because at that point, either Randy Orton or CM Punk would be Cody Rhodes' opponent at SummerSlam. And we'd much rather have a Randy Orton CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes than a Jey Uso versus Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. Nobody wants to see Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes or Jey Uso against Roman Reigns. Nobody. Which is the dilemma that we're sitting in right now. I know a lot of people looking at me ranting or wanting me to rant about this. I think we've largely kind of come to grips with the fact that Jey Uso was always going to be in this position. I think you, me, and everybody else kind of knew that Jey Uso was a realistic possibility of winning King of the Ring this year, even though Oba Femi was in the tournament. We've been calling out the same thing for weeks now. Where's Brock? Where's Brock? When's Brock going to attack Oba? Is it going to be in the opening round? Is it going to be in the second round? Is it going to be in the third round? Now we're heading towards the third round. We haven't seen him yet. Now he's got to book a flight to Saudi Arabia and attack Oba Femi in a 3-minute spot to cost him the King of the Ring tournament. You do realize that. If Brock is not taking Oba out of the tournament on Monday, I am afraid to tell you that Jey Uso is your 2026 King of the Ring. Because it will be at that point, Oba Femi will lose. Thanks to Brock Lesnar. We get Oba Femi, Brock Lesnar 3, building to SummerSlam, which at that point would be 5 weeks away. And Oba Femi can finally conquer the beast. And no, for all the people that are spewing the narrative of, well, Oba could win, and then Brock Lesnar could attack him And we can do Oba on night 1 wrestling Brock and then Oba on night 2 wrestling Roman Reigns. No. Now, we're not going to book a third match with Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi and then also build towards Oba Femi and Roman Reigns. You either do one or the other. Oba Femi versus Roman Reigns doesn't deserve half of your attention. Oba Femi versus Roman Reigns doesn't deserve 40 to 50% of the build. Oba Femi versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship deserves a true story, true progression over weekly television, and given a main event spot that it could have its undivided attention in the main event. We're not going to do Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar the same weekend we're doing Oba Femi and Roman Reigns, because you need to give Oba Femi and Roman Reigns 100% of your undivided attention. That narrative doesn't work. And don't you think that's a little bit too much for the young Oba Femi, who's basically been doing this less than 4 years? And I know everybody's so hasty on crowning him the new guy and crowning him the new champion. Let's slow everything down. We can't give everything away in one weekend. If Oba is in the final with Jey and we don't see Brock take him out Monday, Jey Uso is wrestling either Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns. And I say either because Jey Uso could absolutely defy Roman Reigns and wrestle Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship because of the ongoing issues with Jey and Jacob Fatu, and Roman giving preferential treatment now to Jacob Fatu and looking at Jacob Fatu as the right-hand man. Jey Uso's not the right-hand man anymore. Jey Uso wants to be looked at in the bloodline as Roman's guy. Yet he's looking at Jacob Fatu that way. Again, it's a possibility. Neither of which we want as a fan base, as evidenced by what they did on social media and on YouTube. Go look at the dislikes with Jey Uso winning his match over Javon Evans and getting the final of the King of the Ring. And I know Nick Khan and Triple H and everybody else in WWE won't look at the social media and won't look at the numbers and won't look at the audience reaction online. They very much do. They very much do. They got it on their desk in the morning. They got everybody's reactions and everybody's feelings and everybody's analytics on the desk of Triple H in the morning. They know. I'm sorry to tell you that they don't give a shit. They're going to do what they want to push their narrative, and their narrative right now is Jey Uso. Sadly. You know, tournaments in WWE are largely just fucking a waste of time. You know, we talk about this. On one hand, Tony Khan books a very good tournament, but a very predictable tournament. The women's Owen has largely been a fucking fail this year because there were so many injuries. I don't really care for CMLL and Stardom talent and people that I don't really know or give a shit about in the tournament. It's about the AEW Women's Championship. I want there to be an AEW Women's Championship fought over by AEW women, not people that I've never heard of before, that work for a different company. That's not giving a good pro wrestling match away. That's giving away a predictable outcome. Because unless they're signed to a dual contract or a solo contract, nobody expects them to win. On the other hand, he books a very good men's tournament, which is largely predictable this year because of the whole Will Ospreay narrative, but we're going to get a final that is going to be one of the best matches of the year. And he puts people in the tournament that he could easily beat because he doesn't want to beat top guys, which is the point I'm trying to make here. Tournaments should be used to get the best of the best in a singular elimination tournament to find out who is the best. Who is the best and who deserves the championship opportunity most at the biggest show of the year. Same thing for the King of the Ring. The King of the Ring should be used to find out who is the best to challenge for any women's championship, any men's championship in the main event of SummerSlam. Yet we've been given Bloodline garbage and Judgment Day garbage and people in the tournament that we want to see succeed and advance, and most of them did not. Tournament should be used to give us the best matches with the best people. Yet here we are with Jey Uso in the finals of the tournament, and we are to pretend that Jey Uso's in the finals because he's one of the best pro wrestlers in the WWE. Liv Morgan's in the tournament because WWE can't find a story and proper competition for Liv Morgan. So let's give Liv Morgan the Queen of the Ring tournament final because we can't do our job of finding and booking her in a meaningful way. That's what it boils down to. Yet you want me to sit here and enjoy this slop and be positive about this shit that we're given because WWE's being unpredictable. Nobody expected Liv Morgan to be in the finals. Huh? Yes, it sucks. Liv Morgan should be defending the championship against somebody else in the meantime while someone is in the tournament wrestling to fight her at SummerSlam. Yet we're doing this backwards. Yet we're doing this all backwards. Jey Uso, who's a tag team guy that had a failed world title run. You want me to just throw my hands in the air and accept the WWE garbage that they give us because Jey Uso's in the King of the Ring final now, and you want me to fucking like what they're doing here after nobody liked what they did before last year. I don't know how many times I could tell you pro wrestling in 2026 is shit. Both companies have dropped the ball already 6 months in the year. There's nothing exciting going on. There's nothing that I'm going to actively look back on when the year is over and say, man, I can't wait to go watch that year over year. Man, I can't wait to go watch that and show my friends how great and important of a moment this was. There's nothing this year that resonates anywhere along that level, ever. Telling you, man. Jey Uso in the finals. If Brock is not on Monday Night Raw, Jey Uso's winning the King of the Ring. Get ready. Get ready. We'll talk Sami and Gunther. Sami and Cody. Triple threat match that is now booked for Night of Champions. We'll talk these King of the Ring semifinal matches. Finn Balor is on SmackDown, and they clearly had no plan for him. Tiffany Stratton's defending the United States Championship against Jade Cargill. And more MFTs, Solo Sikoa garbage. SmackDown wasn't as bad as it usually is, but the show's moving back to 2 hours on July 3rd. I can't fucking wait. I can't wait. Though we've all determined that the length of the show is not the problem. It's the roster and the people booking the show. We're going to go over this tonight here on Saturday night. This is your Friday Night SmackDown post show a day late for your June 20th, 2026. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you go and check out all the great content on the channel. We're going to have a great week next week. We got Monday Night Raw, 2 p.m. on Monday. So we'll be live a little earlier. Tuesday Night Titans on Tuesday. We'll wrap up the week on TNT like we usually do with episode 152. I'll be live with the coach on Tuesday morning and the 2 count. Jesse and I will be live for the go-home show for Forbidden Door on Wednesday's Dynamite, which we'll talk about a little bit later, man. I got a couple of ideas I want to run by you guys. The sickos aren't really happy with me, but what else is new? So go check all that stuff out. Some great stuff there. Super Chats are open. Get them on in. Best way to support the show is via the Super Chats. Any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, opinions, get them on in. We'll read them at the end of the show. Continue to hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 700 likes here. We're already more than halfway there. 700 likes is the goal. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. And go get yourself a t-shirt, man. Shout out to the couple of TNT shirts I saw in the crowd last night during the House of Glory show. We appreciate you. We saw you from the balcony. We saw you guys. Thank you very much. Means a lot to Jason and I. Go and get your new Tuesday Night Titans t-shirts. Now available on fourthwall.com. Great looking design there, so go pick it up. And tonight we're sponsored by Blue Chew. BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout. Make sure you guys use that code JD at checkout. You buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you get the third month for free. And we'll talk about my friends over at Blue Chew a little bit later on in the show. BlueChew.com. Code JD. Let's get into this SmackDown, man. We start things off, like I said, very bizarre way to open the show. They open the show commercial-free with Cody Rhodes defending the WWE Championship against Gunther. This is their third match officially, second in this string of title matches we're getting. This was the start of SmackDown, and they ended the show with Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair. I don't really know why. I don't know why. Very weird. So Sami comes on out. He's got a pinstripe black and white referee shirt. There was a fan in the front row that had a Sami Sucks sign. Sucks spelled S-U-X. He knocked it out of his hand. I guess he wasn't a ride or die Sami Zayn fan. So he comes on out. He's waving to everybody. Sami's very happy to be there. He's going to call it right down the middle. Gunther comes on out. Cody Rhodes comes on out. Mark Nash does the championship introductions. And we get things underway. I thought largely this was good, but it went just as long as their match at Clash in Italy. This went 12 minutes or so. Was not long at all. There was a restart, which didn't really add any more time, honestly, to what was going on here. But it was largely a mirror image of what they did in Clash in Italy. They even did the ending of Clash in Italy where Gunther had his boot underneath the rope and the referee that night didn't see it. They actually did that spot sequence for sequence tonight in the match with Sami Zayn as the special guest referee. I still genuinely feel that Cody and Gunther are two of the best pro wrestlers in the business. And you are shortchanging us by having them work this program together. And they've only accumulated 24 minutes of actual in-ring matches between the two matches they've had. I find that to be a little disrespectful. As a fan, I find that to be disrespectful. Like, you want Cody and Gunther in the ring to actually wrestle. Yet they're doing less and less of the wrestling. So there was an early lockup here. Sami Zayn, he got in between Cody and Gunther. He backed Cody off. Cody was about to punch Gunther, but Wade Barrett was on commentary claiming that Sami Zayn made the right call. That is an actual official call. Backed him up. Couldn't just punch Gunther after the referee adhered him not to. So Sami Zayn backed Cody Rhodes up. This frustrated Cody Rhodes. It's the legal thing to do as documented on commentary. Gunther obviously threw his knife-edge chops at Cody Rhodes. Cody fought back with some big right hands. Sami again backed him off. Gunther took advantage, dropped Cody with a big boot. More chops, goes for an early cover. Cody flips out of a suplex attempt. He hits a Cody cutter. I knew this was going to be a relatively quick match when we're already getting a Cody cutter this early in the match. Cody cutter. Cody hits a snap power slam. Wasn't able to capitalize on it. Gunther kicked his legs out and locked in a figure four. So Gunther had Cody in a figure four. Gunther tried to reverse it. Well, Gunther used the ropes for leverage. Sami Zayn saw him, and he forced a rope break. But Sami, when he was the official in this spot here, Gunther had the figure four locked on, and his attention was diverted elsewhere. He didn't initially see Gunther holding the ropes for added leverage to the figure four. He let it linger for a few seconds. And then he saw him, and then he's like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? Gunther argued with Sami, leading to Cody rolling him up, nearly getting the win here. Gunther laid him out with a big clothesline. He goes back to arguing with Sami Zayn. So Gunther and Sami Zayn are now arguing with each other twice in the early portions of this match. Crowd was obviously for Cody. Crossroads out of nowhere lands on Gunther. He covered, but Sami Zayn stopped the count because, like I said, they did the same spot at Clash in Italy. Cody delivers the crossroads next to the rope. He goes for the same cover next to the rope. Gunther at Clash in Italy had his boot underneath the rope. The official there did not see it. He put his boot underneath the rope here on SmackDown. Sami Zayn seen it. He stopped the count. He saw Gunther's foot underneath the bottom rope. Literally the same mirror spot from Clash in Italy. Cody argued with Sami, even though Zayn was right. Why are you arguing with Sami Zayn when clearly he made the right call? What are you arguing about? I mean, both guys just look fucking stupid. And the way that I look at it as a fan, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Sami's doing his job. You want him to do his job. I know there's tensions between Sami and Cody, but that's not the right situation to continue to build tensions between Sami and Cody because Sami made the right call. It almost comes off as forced. That's the way that I look at it. You're forcing tension when there really is no situation that should cause that tension. If Cody is upset, Cody should be upset at himself because he's the champion here. He's the professional. He's got a ring IQ, a masterful ring IQ. If you're going to deliver a crossroads, how about you move Gunther away from the fucking ropes and pull him back to more center of the ring and then cover him so Gunther doesn't put his boot underneath the rope. Yet Cody's arguing with Sami. Give me a break, man. So Cody's arguing with Sami, even though Zayn was right. Zayn, he's warning Cody not to put his hands on the official. He's got the pinstripes on. He's the official. Zayn pushes Cody into Gunther, who locked on the sleeper hold. Bro, I swear to God. I'm watching this, and nothing is going to ever top the 1997 SummerSlam with Shawn Michaels, special guest referee between The Undertaker and Bret the Hitman Hart. Best WWE Championship ending to a match in the history of the company in that match. I don't give a fuck what else you bring to the argument. You're wrong. Greatest ending and greatest outcome to a WWE Championship match in the history of WWE. Bro, when Shawn hit The Undertaker with the steel chair, he aimed for Bret. He hit Taker. His facial reaction sold the whole moment. Because he knew. He knew at that point he was fucked. Sami Zayn pushed Cody into Gunther, who was waiting there with a sleeper. Sami Zayn, he gave off that feeling of Shawn Michaels that night in New Jersey at SummerSlam 1997. He's like, oh shit. What did I just do? What did I just do? Did I just cost Cody the WWE Championship? That was a great fucking spot. That was a great spot last night. I really enjoyed that. Sami's reaction to that sold the whole fucking moment. That was the best part of the entire match, in my opinion. So Gunther's got the sleeper locked in. Zayn didn't know what to do. Gunther told Sami that Cody was out cold. He's yelling, he's out, he's out, he's out. Cody managed to make it to the ropes. Gunther would not break the hold, so Sami had to pull Gunther off of Cody. Gunther then starts pushing Sami Zayn. He starts pie-facing Sami Zayn. All of a sudden, Sami slaps Gunther. Gunther then power bombs. And I mean power bombs Sami Zayn. The match continues after this. Cody hits a super Cody cutter off the top rope. Cody hits crossroads. We got no ref. Another referee quickly runs down the aisle, slides into the ring. He made the count, but Gunther kicked it at 2. Gunther then powerbombed Cody, stacked him up. Second official started counting. Sami Zayn, who was on the outside via the powerbomb from Gunther just moments ago, pulled the second referee out of the ring. Zayn starts yelling at Gunther from the floor for putting his hands on him. Cody went for a sunset flip, but Gunther held on to the ropes in this very overly comical way. He's like, whoa, whoa. It was overly comical. That Gunther was trying to hold on to the ropes or kind of leverage his balance, and then he grabbed the ropes. I'm like, bro, God, Gunther looks like such a schmuck. He really does. So Sami gets in the ring. Gunther finally grabs the ropes. Sami sees this. He kicks Gunther's hands off the ropes into Cody's pinning combination here. Sunset flip. 1, 2, 3. Sami makes a fast count. Sami Zayn fast counted Gunther in a sunset flip. Pinning combination. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes retains the WWE Championship because Sami Zayn decided to fuck over Gunther. The match was short. We could have cut we could have cut something else on this show to let it go a little bit longer. 12 minutes is not enough for Cody and Gunther. I don't give a shit what story you're trying to tell. 12 minutes for Cody and Gunther is inexcusable. Inexcusable. So let me get this straight. Sami Zayn is enforcing the rules. He's playing by the rules. He's trying to call this match down the middle. He had no problem at all with Sami Zayn and his officiating. Cody gets upset at him because Cody wanted to throw an extra punch in there against the referee's discretion. Cody's getting upset at Sami Zayn because Sami stopped the count because he noticed Gunther's boot underneath the bottom rope. Gunther's getting upset at Sami Zayn because he couldn't tap out or pass out Cody in the sleeper hold. And then he starts getting upset at Sami Zayn. So both Cody and Gunther were getting upset at Sami Zayn, chat, legitimately for absolutely no reason. I can understand Cody being a little disappointed that Gunther's boot was underneath the bottom rope, but then in that situation, you are the WWE champion. You already went through this same spot. You look like an idiot. If you're going to deliver your finishing move, maybe move the guy that you executed the finishing move on away from the ropes so that we don't get a rope break or someone's boot underneath the rope so that it would stop the referee's count. You were just, at that point, asking for what? Sami Zayn to ignore the boot underneath the rope? Because he's your friend? I didn't really understand why you got upset at Sami Zayn over that. It doesn't make any sense. And then Gunther's upset because Sami shoved Cody into Gunther, and Gunther's upset at what? The fact that Sami Zayn didn't help him beat Cody. Gunther's upset at what? The fact that Cody didn't pass out or tap out? What possessed you to put your hands on the official that you chose? I don't get it. He shoves Sami, puts his hands on Sami. Sami slaps him. Then he powerbombs Sami Zayn. Bro, Gunther is the ring general. We are to understand that Gunther has the biggest ring IQ out of anybody in the entire industry. Never mind WWE, in the entire industry. Yet you want me to think that Gunther is so upset, so rattled over Sami Zayn and the job that he's done here that it possessed him to powerbomb Sami Zayn and cost himself the WWE Championship match that he so desperately wanted coming out of Clash in Italy. Bro, both Cody and Gunther look like complete fucking geeks. Complete geeks. They really tried to over-embellish the tensions and get Sami involved. Situation here, situation there that Cody would get upset at Sami about, Gunther would get upset about. Bro, you don't need to give me situations, 3, 4, 5 situations in a match that tease tension between the pro wrestler who's guest officiating and the two combatants in this ring. You should only saved it for the end of the match. Genuinely. It made Gunther look like a fucking geek. Because he put his hands on the official and he powerbombed Sami Zayn. Gunther cost himself the WWE Championship. And in turn, Sami said, fuck this guy. He put one on me. I'm going to fuck him over. And he fast counted Gunther. Sami Zayn was the best part of this match. Sami Zayn's inclusion was the best part of this match. And we knew that this was probably going to result in a triple threat match. And that's exactly what we were heading towards going into Night of Champions. So Gunther was up. He was fucking angry at the end of the match. He was angry. We went right to a commercial break. So we come back from the break. Everyone's arguing with Nick Aldis about what happened. They're all in gorilla. They're all in the gorilla position. Gunther's arguing with Nick Aldis. Cody's arguing with everybody. Sami Zayn is there. Cody eventually walks away from Sami Zayn and Gunther. Gunther is beating up Sami Zayn in gorilla. Throws him into the fucking wall in gorilla. So Cody leaves. He goes out to ringside. He walked back out to the ring. He demanded for another referee to come back out here and restart the match. So Sami Zayn was the official here. He's getting angry at Nick Aldis. I'm the official. You trusted me with this match. This is ridiculous. I'm the last and final call here. So Sami was upset because they didn't trust him with the final call. His final call didn't stand. So Nick Aldis is going to allow this match to continue with a different referee. And Sami's upset about that because he thought he was the end-all be-all here. He thought he was going to be the deciding factor, the deciding referee in Gunther and Cody Rhodes because he's the last good guy in WWE. So like I said, Gunther threw him into the wall, beat him up there. Another referee comes on out. Gunther runs out there. We get the match restarting, and we got a second WWE Championship match. The bell rings. So Cody is punching Gunther. They're going back and forth. Cody Rhodes ducks a clothesline from Gunther. Gunther stops a Cody cutter. Gunther goes for the sleeper hold. Cody counters with a sleeper hold of his own. Gunther Irish whips Cody across the ring. He gets the sleeper hold finally applied. Cody Rhodes refuses to quit. So we get a sleeper hold exchange back and forth. Cody backs Gunther into the turnbuckles. Sami Zayn runs on out and knocks Gunther out with a haluva kick, causing a disqualification in the restart of this WWE Championship match. After the match, Sami Zayn grabbed the WWE Championship title belt away from the referee here. He punches the referee out. Sami Zayn is talking shit to Gunther. Sami Zayn has his back turned to Cody. Cody comes and puts his hands on Sami Zayn. Sami still has the championship belt in his hand. Turned around and swung at Cody and knocked him out with the WWE title. He didn't realize that it was Cody Rhodes. I mean, who else would it be? Did he think it was Nick Aldis or another WWE referee? It ended up being Cody Rhodes that he knocked out. After the match, Sami Zayn throws a temper tantrum in there. He's receiving a ton of boos. Sami sucks chants. So they restarted the match. Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes have a reason to be upset at Gunther. Or Sami Zayn, rather, and Gunther and Cody Rhodes. With what happened here, Cody Rhodes and Gunther have a reason to be upset with Sami Zayn. They do. They do. Gunther has a reason to be upset because Sami decided as the official that he felt like it was right to kick his hands off the ropes, and then he gave Gunther a fast count. But none of that would have happened if you didn't touch Sami Zayn in the first place. None of that would have happened if you didn't powerbomb Sami Zayn. In my opinion, Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes and Gunther, there's unfinished business there. And sure, they have all reasons to be upset at each other, but Gunther has nobody to blame but himself, and Cody Rhodes has nobody to blame but himself. So in my eyes, they both look stupid. Instead of Sami Zayn, letting Sami Zayn do his job. The one thing I did like about this is the fact that it really did showcase, especially starting SmackDown, which I didn't really understand why they started the show with this. I wouldn't have started the show with this. I would have absolutely saved this for the main event. It did make SmackDown feel bigger than most weeks. Just having a WWE Championship match on the show in general made this feel bigger than SmackDown does most weeks. And I do like that. I do miss that important feel when something like this is on the show. We don't get enough important things. We don't get enough things that make it feel important on the show. We don't get enough that makes it feel big on the show. I really miss that. I think a lot of what we felt here and it feeling important is because of this. We don't usually get a WWE Championship match on SmackDown or on Raw. They are rare, but when we get them, it does feel big. I wish we got that just a little bit more often. If not a championship match, Cody Rhodes wrestling on the show, developing a story, forwarding a story. Gunther wrestling, forwarding a story. Largely, I thought what they did was good. I enjoyed a lot of this. It's a little comical that Gunther, the ring IQ of Gunther, put his hands on the official, an official that he handpicked himself. That's the part I don't really get. He hand chose Gunther. And here he is putting his hands on his hand-chosen official. What made him want to pick Sami Zayn to begin with if he didn't trust Sami Zayn? If you didn't trust Sami Zayn enough, why is he there? Clearly you didn't if you put your hands on him. Kathy Kelly. She's backstage with Jade Cargill. B-Fab and Michin are standing there. Where does Jade's focus lie after losing to Charlotte Flair in the Queen of the Ring tournament? So Jade asks Kathy, do we have a problem? I don't know, Jade. Maybe Kathy Kelly is just doing her job as an on-screen analyst / reporter. Jade and her not-so-baddies do whatever they want in this division. Jade says that she's going to make a pit stop towards Tiffany Stratton since she doesn't know how to mind her business. B-Fab doesn't know why Tiffany would cost Jade the match when she's not even in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Jade starts boasting about injuring Rhea Ripley. Since Night of Champions needs some star power, she says, Jade is challenging Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's United States Championship. I pray to God that Rhea Ripley's injury is not as serious as people are fearing it is. They legitimately took her off the Night of Champions poster. They knew weeks in advance that she would not be at the show. So they ended up putting Tiffany Stratton on the poster, which is why this match was made. And I'm assuming that Jade and Charlotte's going to be the direction going into SummerSlam. But I think we all figured just coming out of last week with Jade holding up the Women's United States Championship after delivering a Jaded to Tiffany Stratton, that this more than likely would be a pit stop on the way to SummerSlam. Now, me personally, I'm not interested in another Jade and Tiffany Stratton match. I did not care for what they did last year. I did not care. I thought most of what they did was utter shit. Yet here we are getting it again. Is Tiffany better than she was last year? I mean, the verdict is out on that one. I can't really tell. I don't like Tiffany Stratton as a babyface, personally. Has Jade gotten better? No. There's been glimmers of Jade doing really good depending on who she's in the ring with, i.e. Rhea Ripley. I thought the match at WrestleMania personally was the better of the two matches that they had. I thought it was better at WrestleMania than it was at Clash in Italy. That's just me. But Jade Cargill largely wrestles like she's wrestling, trying to remember what spot comes next. There's a lot of flailing about. There's a lot of dancing about. There's a lot of waiting for spots to happen. Her selling is atrocious. She's one of the worst sellers in the business. To me, that does not make a good wrestling match. It's going to be a real eye-opening experience when she gets in there with Charlotte Flair, man. Charlotte Flair better be bringing her big girl pants to work in Minneapolis, depending on what night that happens. I guess we'll all realize and come to find out how great Charlotte Flair really is if she's going one-on-one with Jade Cargill, which we'll talk about in a little bit because that was basically sealed with what happened at the end of the show. Gunther confronts Nick Aldis in the back. Gunther says that Aldis is the reason why he's not the undisputed champion. Brother, you just powerbombed the fucking referee. You powerbombed the referee that you hand chose yourself. But he's blaming Nick Aldis. Chad, am I off? Or does Gunther look like a fucking geek? Does he sound like a fucking geek? Please tell me. While you do that, we got inverted aim in here. Oh, my goodness. We got my guy Inverted coming in with a $100 super chat. Here's to the OTS family and to you, brother. Thanks for the content. Hard work always pays off. Firm handshakes. Love it, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here as always. Inverted's been with me for quite a while. I think the consensus is out on Gunther, right, Shad? He's a geek? A huge geek and less intimidating. Gunther automatically assumes Sami would help him since Sami and Cody have had issues. I think the general consensus is out, guys. Gunther looks like a geek. That's the way that I took it. Does he look less intimidating? Probably. This guy had final boss aura. Now he's complaining to Nick Aldis about things that he should be looking at himself in the mirror about. Gunther's the reason why he's not the WWE champion. The first time I understood it, in Clash in Italy, I understood it. Tonight, I don't. Tonight, I don't. Solo Sikoa. We see Solo in his dressing room, and in comes Jacob Fatu. Are you here to deliver another request from Roman Reigns, says Solo? If so, the answer is still no. Jacob says, I'm not here for none of that. I'm here to make sure that no one gets involved in Jay's match tonight. And to keep it 100, Solo is making the wrong decision, not joining Roman in the Bloodline. Jacob says that Solo is running out of time to make the right choice. What does that even mean? Jacob tells Solo to take it how he wants. It's not up to Jacob. It's not up to him. It's up to Solo. Solo then starts mocking Jacob after he walks away. He's like, well, it's not up to me. It's up to you. What does that even mean? Starts mocking him in like a geek-like voice. Solo's got some charisma. I enjoy Solo when he's by himself. This MFT stuff is garbage. Speaking of which, the MFTs appear. Tama Tonga. He wants to know what's going on. Solo says, don't worry about it. That's Roman trying to make him come back to the family. Not going anywhere. They don't have anything to worry about. The plan is for tonight, bringing home the WWE Tag Team titles, bringing them back to the family. Tama Tonga then says, your family business is starting to mess with our family business. I think it's best for you to stay in the back while we wrestle for the Tag Team Championships. So Tama Tonga basically said, if Solo goes out there, there's no telling who's going to follow him out there. Tama Tonga got some words. They actually gave him some promo time. Tama Tonga says that the Bloodline is not their problem. The Tag Team titles are. We got another Blake Monroe vignette. This time, her Dear Diary submission was all about Julia. We love Julia. I've seen this girl before, Julia. We've met once before in the land of the rising sun. I knew when I saw you that you had the aura and the presence to make it to the dance. Congrats, you made it. But you've seemed to forget the steps. Now, don't get me wrong, your rage, it's very intimidating, but I think it's clouding your judgment. Whereas me, I can see quite clearly, and it looks like there's a starring role just waiting to be filled. And who's better to fill your screens than the glamour? I mean, I have a vision to look at after all. Don't cry when I pass you by because the glamour is coming soon to SmackDown. Yours truly, Blake Monroe. When we are getting Blake Monroe, I don't know. She's going through all these diary submissions. Who else is there that's important that she can write about? It's going to be very interesting to see where WWE slots her in and where she makes her debut. I'm looking for WWE to fuck this up royally. Damian Priest. He's with R-Truth defending the Tag Team Championships against the MFTs. This is Tama Tonga and Tama Tonga. Now, I don't care about any of this, to be quite honest with you. I don't care about the tag team division. I don't care about Damian Priest and R-Truth as a tag team. I don't care about the MFTs. And I don't care about the War Raiders, who apparently are now looking at the next in line to be for the Tag Team Championships. You're giving me a lot of I don't give a shit about everything tag team title related on SmackDown. If there's one thing we need to fix, it's generating interest in the tag team division. Damian Priest and R-Truth and the MFTs are not going to do it. We've been at this how long? Ever since the Wyatt Six were absolutely decimated and released, the WWE has done nothing with the MFTs but feud them with Damian Priest and R-Truth. How much longer are we going to have to sit here and endure this slop? Is there anything else? Seriously. Priest started off against Tama Tonga. They locked up. Priest ended up crotch chopping him, going to the second turnbuckle and standing about eye level with him. Crotch chopped him and gave him the DX chop. Tama Tonga no-sold some of Priest's moves here. Shoulder block, some forearms. All of a sudden, they start showing the War Raiders with their AAA Tag Team Championships standing backstage watching this match. Oh, man. Wow, man. Such excitement. I can't wait for the War Raiders. Weren't they a Monday Night Raw tag team? Or are we not supposed to remember that? They just jumped from one show to the next, I guess, huh? No rhyme or reason, no explanation. You know, it's nice to see that WWE wants to push their talents that they prior did not use, now use them in AAA, and then all of a sudden think that now that they're champions in AAA, that people will actually care about them on the main roster. War Raiders are AAA Tag Team Champions. Rey Fenix is AAA Cruiserweight Champion. Bro, all because they won championships in another promotion that WWE now owns majority stake in doesn't mean that all of a sudden they are going to become important figures on Friday Night SmackDown. It doesn't work that way. We actually feel bad for Rey Fenix. Not so much the War Raiders because they are, I don't want to say that they're not a good tag team. They're a very good tag team, but creative hasn't really done anything in a meaningful way that is going to present the War Raiders in a way that they need to be presented. They're boring. All because they're tag team champions doesn't automatically make them interesting. And all because you now are using the War Raiders on Friday Night SmackDown, all that says to me is that this tag team division sucks, and they're hemorrhaging teams. There are no teams, and now we got to put these guys over here because there is nobody else. I don't know, maybe unify the tag team titles like we've been saying for, I don't know how long we've been saying it, what, 11 years now? 10 years? Tama Tonga tagged in. Priest took control. Truth tagged in. He does his split, hits a big corner splash. He does the 5-knuckle shuffle. You can't see me. John Cena will live on as long as R-Truth is in a ring. He started to lift Tama Tonga up for an attitude adjustment. Tama Tonga, he starts getting into the ring. Truth got distracted, and Tama Tonga knocked him outside. Tama Tonga chokeslam Priest onto the apron. Truth and Tama Tonga were down, and they showed the War Raiders in the back again. Priest tagged in. They really want you to focus on the War Raiders being the next in line here. Priest tagged in, took control, spin kick, leaping corner, back elbows, flatliner on Tama Tonga, goes for a cover, only a 2 count. So Tama Tonga comes in illegally, and he attempted a big choke slam. Priest fought it off, clotheslined him out to the floor, he landed on his feet. Tama Tonga ducked a rebound lariat, hits a snap neck breaker. Solo Sikoa, who previously was told, do not come out to ringside, we got this one, showed up at ringside. Tama Tonga was distracted by Solo Sikoa and is pleading with him to go away. Priest came running over, and Solo shoves Tama Tonga out of the way, and Priest knocks out Solo Sikoa with a jumping double axe handle off the steel steps. So Tama Tonga comes on over and throws Damian Priest into the steel post. Tama Tonga reached down to grab Priest by the hair. Truth apparently was the legal man and rolled Tama Tonga up for a 1-2-3. Damian Priest and R-Truth still the tag team champions in a tag team less division. After the match, Solo was upset that they lost. Tama Tonga and Tama Tonga left without Solo Sikoa. Oh, man. MFT drama. Are they splitting Solo from the MFTs? What exactly is going on here? Will Tama Tonga and Tama Tonga survive without the MFTs? That's the problem. I don't think they're surviving now. At least I have somewhat of the bloodline attached to them. These guys are dead to rights if WWE ends the MFTs. The MFTs are dead in itself, don't get me wrong. But these guys will serve no purpose. They will be in the middle of nothing if they are eventually split from Solo Sikoa. And honestly, the MFTs need to die. The MFTs need to go away. I don't know how likely that is with the incoming Bloodline versus MFTs war. Maybe this is just a 1 week thing where there's tension and they don't like each other for 1 week. We don't know where Royce Keys fits into this. Again, none of it, and I mean none of it, is particularly interesting. Sami Zayn. He's backstage talking to his best friend, Johnny Gargano, who's laid out on yet another production crate. Candice LeRae is just standing there listening to Sami Zayn talk to her husband, who's completely zombified. Sami says that the hardest thing to do in the world is staying true to yourself. You try to do the right thing, and you can't make anybody happy. Sami Zayn feels like he's losing it because he knows that he's a good guy. He's the last real good guy around here. So Nick Aldis takes exception to that comment because that was the fastest count in wrestling history. Nick Aldis is upset with Sami Zayn, and he confronts Sami Zayn as he's having this heart-to-heart with Johnny Gargano. What the hell were you thinking out there, Sami? Sami knocks over another innocent water bottle. I didn't ask for any of this, Nick. You gave me the referee shirt in the first place. I was calling that match right down the middle. Gunther powerbombed me, and you're yelling at me. Aldis reminded Sami that he put his hands on Gunther first. Zayn tells Aldis to go watch the footage. Perhaps Nick Aldis believed, just like everybody else, that Zayn was going to cost Cody Rhodes the undisputed WWE Championship. You thought I was going to cost Cody, Nick, right? What happened? Your boy is still the champion. Zayn can bet that Aldis is real happy that his golden boy is still champion. Zayn says that Cody should be thanking me because he's the reason Cody is still the WWE champion. I didn't ask for any of this, but I'm here now, and I'm not going away that easy. Again, Sami Zayn, his interactions with Nick Aldis, his interactions with Cody, really good television. Really good television. Now, granted, Sami did slap Gunther, but Gunther put his hands on Sami first. Gunther put his hands on Sami first, which prompted Sami to slap Gunther. Gunther then powerbombed Sami. Gunther took it to the next level. Gunther put his hands on an official, which is forbidden in that match. You should not be putting your hands on the official. It's an instant disqualification. Sami could have disqualified him right there, but he didn't. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I don't know what Nick Aldis is thinking. I don't know what Cody's thinking. I'm on Sami Zayn's side with this one. I'm going with Sami. Jey Uso starts walking through the backstage area. He's cutting a promo in the back. It's the real OG versus the young OG, Us. Jey says he's going to blaze right through Javon Evans and Oba Femi to face Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. Javon Evans joins the conversation now, stops Jey Uso mid-promo. Javon knows that Jey is overlooking him right now, but he's a big fan, and he's been a big fan since Jey had paint on his face. Javon then calls Jey Uso Unk. Good luck in the match tonight, Unk. Jey says, what did you call me? I called you Unk. Jey then tells Javon Evans to keep that same energy when he slaps the taste out of his mouth and makes Javon his son, Us. Javon tells Jey that he better watch it because he can get it right now. Pause. Jey yeets and walks away. Now, what makes someone an Unk? Can someone tell me? Would I be described as an Unk? Maybe to the youngsters in the community, right? I would be an Unk, but what's the classification? What's the criteria to be an Unk? I gotta know. I don't know. I'm an Unk too, says Hug Dog says, JD, you an Unk too, LOL. What's the criteria for an Unk? Yes, we got inverted with another $100 super chat. He says, let's wake up. I love it. At least 40. At 50, you're an OG. Okay. All right. I'm an unk then. I'm in my 40s. I'm in my early 40s. And I got gray in the beard, so I guess just based on the gray in the beard, that would constitute me as an unk. Now, is Solomonster an unk? Can we deem Solomonster meeting the criteria for being an unk too? We're two unks. I don't know. Older than 35, says DJ Boat. That equals unk status. Okay. Listen, man, I'm an OG, okay? I'm an OG here. I don't mind being called an unk. Being an unk comes with the knowledge and the history, right? Solo is an unk to me, says Hog Dog. Okay. We're all unks. Yes, we're all unks, Street Fighter. We're all unks. Carmelo Hayes versus Ricky Saints. The winner of this match will get Trick Williams for the United States Championship at Night of Champions. Tuesday Night Unks, huh? Oh, my God. That's exactly what we are, man. We'll change the name. As soon as Jason hits 40, man, we'll change the name of the show to Tuesday Night Unks. Don't be a weirdo unk, though. No. Nobody's weird here. The AEW sickos might think I'm weird, but there's nobody weird here, man. You know, this Carmelo Hayes Ricky Saints thing, back and forth, it's been mostly good. Mostly good. They both have one win apiece, and there's one count out. This is the fourth match between Ricky and Carmelo. Now, I'll save my thoughts for the end of the match. The one thing I really want to focus on here is how Ricky Saints, how long, chat, has Ricky Saints been on the main roster? It's been like 2 months now, right? It's been closer to 2 months. Ricky Saints comes on out. Can I just say that when Ricky Saints theme music hits and we get that obviously AI-generated voiceover, welcome to the revolution, or whatever the fuck it was, bro, that sounds so fucking lame. And the lameness that gets added to that when you hear Ricky Saints theme music hit and there's no reaction. Ricky Saints gets no reaction. His theme music gets no reaction. I genuinely think his theme music is weak. There's no impact to his theme music. They basically tried to recreate his AEW theme and did a much worse job than Mikey Ruckus did. This is nowhere near his AEW theme. And the lack of reaction that Ricky Saints gets when he comes on out, bro, it is silent. It is like scarily dead silent. Now, it wasn't all silent. There were chants of let's go Mello, let's go Ricky in Kansas City. But when people really see how good Ricky Saints is, like we all know he's good. It's taken him a little bit to get going here. And I don't know what needs to be done, man, but those lack of reactions when he comes on out, that's not good. That's not good. And you're giving him a big match in Saudi Arabia against Trick Williams now. I hope they know what they're doing. This was the longest match on the night, which kind of goes to show you that Carmelo is the true workhorse of Friday Night SmackDown. I just hope that when the show goes to 2 hours, that Ricky and Mello and their contributions to the actual in-ring aspect don't get cut short. I know with a 3-hour show, we're more capable of doing matches that go 14, 15 minutes that feature guys like Mello and Ricky Saints. But that doesn't mean that now the show's going back to 2 hours that we got to cut their time in half. They're still two of the best wrestlers on the show. I thought what they did here was largely good. We'll pick it up after the commercial break. Hayes, before the commercial, hits a DDT on the apron to Ricky Saints. Saints hit a big back suplex. He went for a very cocky cover over Melo, exchanging chops back and forth. Saints went for a running bulldog. Hayes caught him mid-bulldog and delivered a nice back suplex. Springboard, no-look DDT by Melo. Goes for a cover. He gets a 2 count. Tilt-a-whirl. They trade pin combinations. Ricky Saints hits a nice-looking flapjack for a close 2 count. They double clotheslined each other. Both guys are down. So Melo, he loves doing this Dirty Diana. And Joe Tess loves calling the Dirty Diana. So Hayes catches Ricky Saints with the Dirty Diana, followed by a lifting cutter. He goes up top. He went for his leg drop, but Saints got out of the way and attempted the Revolution DDT. Because it's time for the Revolution. Hayes countered that, and the turnbuckle, at this point in the match, the turnbuckle pad got pulled off as Hayes and Saints exchanged pin attempts. So, Hayes was in the corner. Ricky was pulling from behind. Carmelo accidentally pulled the turnbuckle pad off, and now the steel under the turnbuckle pad is exposed. So, Hayes went for first 48, countered by Saints. He was placed on the top turnbuckle. Saints tripped him up, which caused him to fall onto the exposed turnbuckle. Saints couldn't capitalize as he was hit with the first 48. However, we got Ricky kicking Hayes in the midsection, pushing him backwards, and he crashed into the exposed turnbuckle. Hayes falls flat on his back down to the mat. Ricky goes for a cover, 1, 2, 3. And thanks to the exposed turnbuckle, Ricky Saints pins Carmelo Hayes, and Ricky Saints is going to Night of Champions to wrestle for the United States Championship. I like how Melo and Ricky work together. I do. I have no problem with Ricky beating Melo here. The reason why I like it is because Ricky is not beating Trick for the United States Championship. Now, I don't know what they do. They could easily go and do a triple threat match at SummerSlam, featuring Ricky Saints at SummerSlam and featuring him at his first ever PLE would be great. Shows that the company values Ricky, that he's one of the top guys up and coming on SmackDown, and they really trust what he's bringing to the table going after the United States Championship. But me personally, I don't really care to see Ricky Saints after wrestling Trick in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions because I don't really think Trick is losing the championship. How Trick wins is going to be something to look out for. Does Trick cheat to win? Does he win via some weird finish? Does Ricky complain that he got cheated out of a United States Championship match? Does Melo then get involved and say enough is enough? Now I want my opportunity. Get in the back of the line. Maybe we get a triple threat match based on how that outcome happens at Night of Champions. I personally would rather see Trick versus Melo one-on-one. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see a legitimate program between Melo and Trick Williams, just based on their history. I like to see some dialogue when it's just them two, based on their history, how they came in together. I'd like to see some tensions build between both of them. I'd like to see some jealousy from Melo or envy from Melo to Trick. That Trick ascended so much rapidly, so much quickly over Carmelo. That's what I'm here for. I want to see that tension. I want to see that competitive aspect. I want to see that competitive envy from Melo to Trick That's what's really going to tell the tale here. Where Melo was king shit in NXT. Trick eventually took his spot. It should have been Melo on the main roster with Trick following, just like it was in NXT. But Trick surpassed Melo on the main roster after Melo led the charge in NXT. There's a tangible story there that I want to see play out. And I think that deserves the SummerSlam match. Not Ricky Saints. Or a triple threat match with Ricky Saints. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with these three guys and the title going to 2 hours. But largely, they work very well together. Melo and Ricky work very well together. Ricky's getting the match at Night of Champions. I can only hope that the people in Saudi Arabia really like Ricky Saints and what he's bringing to the table, because the main roster, largely they feel indifferent. And Ricky's got to work extra hard to start winning them over. Backstage, Cody Rhodes. He's talking to Nick Aldis in his office. Cody apologizes for what happened out there. Nick Aldis says that he's working on a solution to this. Cody understands that the situation that Gunther has put Aldis in and now Sami can be a lot to work with. I'm tired of all of it. I'm tired of catering to both Gunther and Sami Zayn. I want to end this. You've been the general manager for 2 years, and there's only one solution to this. You and I both know it. I want to beat both of them. Triple threat match, Night of Champions, make it official. So Cody's also stupid too. So not only did we figure out that Gunther is the reason why Gunther lost, Cody's also stupid because now he diminishes his chances even more of winning the match with an extra man involved. Instead of having a 50% chance of winning, now he's got a 33.3% chance of winning. I know Cody's a babyface fighting champion, but if I'm Cody Rhodes, I am never wanting to put myself in a situation where my chances of winning the title are less than on a normal night. But we're to believe and just kind of sweep that under the rug that Cody's a babyface and he's a fighting champion, and that's what babyface fighting champions do, JD. Yes, it's called being stupid. Kathy Kelly was backstage with Charlotte Flair. What would it mean to Charlotte Flair for her to win this year's Queen of the Ring tournament? Yes, Kathy, I've done it all. I'm a 14-time women's world champion, none of which that I remember vividly. None of which were of importance whatsoever, Charlotte. But throughout her entire career, Charlotte has proven time and time again why she is the queen. With or without the crown, if Charlotte wins the crown, it puts her back at top of the mountain at SummerSlam, thriving, going after her 15th world championship. Now, Liv Morgan, she may claim she's trouble, but Charlotte, she's going to show her tonight that she's the queen, then, now, and forever. Woo! We saw a highlight package of Danhausen on the Stephen A. Smith show on Sirius. Jalen Brunson, New York Knicks are giving him credit for lifting the curse. They were shown on Jimmy Kimmel. Then we go to Danhausen's laboratory. The Miz and Kit Wilson are still electrocuted from last 2 weeks. They're also handcuffed together. So Danhausen has a slight Miz and Kit Wilson fetish. Danhausen has locked Miz and Kit Wilson up and handcuffed them in his laboratory. The Garzas appear. They're upset about the San Antonio Spurs losing the NBA Finals and blamed Danhausen because they wanted Danhausen to curse the Knicks, and he did not. Now they want their money back because they lost a lot of human monies with San Antonio losing the NBA Finals. Angel Garza asks Danhausen if he's joking. Danhausen says that Los Garza, he was about to say, "You are," and then they stopped him. "You are cursed." He didn't curse them. Matt Cardona prevents Los Garza from getting beat up here by the curse of Danhausen. Cardona lost his watch, he tells the Garzas, but you don't see him complaining. But also his team won. Cardona says that if Los Garza has a problem with Danhausen, then they have a problem with him. Danhausen called Cardona Zack Ryder. Cardona pokes The Miz to see if he's alive. Cardona gets electrocuted in the process. Danhausen asks Cardona if he's okay. Cardona says, "You know it." Woo, woo, woo. Bro, they brought Matt Cardona into the company. They brought him into Friday's television show to poke The Miz, get electrocuted, and then recite his old Zack Ryder catchphrase. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. Well, that's a lot of money WWE is investing in Matt Cardona to bring him back and utilize his services for such slop here on Friday night. As long as he's happy, as long as Mr. Cardona is happy. R-Truth is talking to Finn Balor in the locker room. Finn, he's here to just congratulate Truth on his successful title defense. Truth says he's got ahead of himself last week. Truth tells Finn that they just beat the Wild Samoans tonight. They beat the Wild Samoans. They beat Rikishi and the Wild Samoans. Truth says he has a hookup and they need to get a title around Finn's waist. Finn says that he doesn't need Truth's help. Truth says that once you're in the Judgment Day, your Judgment Day for life, he says. Truth gives Finn a big hug. Damian Priest walks in. Priest says, whatever celebration you got planned, don't count me in because I don't go to places with people that I can't trust. Truth says, is he talking about me or Finn? Because I'm the truthiest person in the entire world. Bro, they brought Finn Balor to SmackDown clearly with no plan or action for Finn Balor. This is evidenced by him already being placed with Damian Priest and R-Truth. They had no plan. They had no vision for Finn Balor whatsoever. Right to what he was used to doing with Damian Priest on Monday Night Raw. Par for the course with the Friday Night SmackDown writing team. Par for the course. Jey Uso. He goes one-on-one with Javon Evans. This is the semifinal of the King of the Ring tournament. Men's bracket. This went 18 minutes. This went a long time. Outside Mello and Ricky Saints, this was the longest match of the show. I can't watch a Jey Uso singles match, and I know I'm not the only one, and keep myself invested. I can't. I don't know what it is, bro. I have absolutely nothing against Jey Uso. I cannot sit and watch a Jey Uso match and find myself invested. It's the same thing every fucking time he wrestles. I don't care to see him win. I don't care to invest my time in him. We've given him our time. I think his role now is to tell a greater story within the Bloodline. I don't think his story is winning King of the Ring and advancing in the tournament and main eventing SummerSlam against Cody Rhodes, because he's main event Jey Uso and he's in the Bloodline and he's being looked at by Roman to take the other belt and bring it back to the family. Jey Uso is one of the most uninteresting professional wrestlers, not only in WWE, but in the entire sport. And this is just me. This is just me speaking. I've said it time and time and time again, and I agree with some people in the chat. Jimmy Uso is a better pro wrestler. And I won't even consider him at a level where I want to see him wrestle in a singles role. Bro, the Usos, they got the Usos together to win the tag team titles, and they made them tag team champions for a better part of the 2026 beginning of the year. Now we're moving away from that. All of us actually are tired of the Usos in general, but if you're going to give me the Usos as a tag team is where they should be. But there's no division. There's no need for the Usos if there's no tag team division. But that doesn't mean we want to see Jey Uso fucking win and win and win and get to the semifinals and win and win and win and get to the fucking finals of the King of the Ring tournament and then win the King of the Ring tournament and get the SummerSlam main event. Bro, we've been there and done that. We did this last year. Is there no desire for new, fresh, up-and-coming faces to be in this spot? You can't sit there and claim to me that Jey Uso is single-handedly the reason why WWE is selling out SummerSlam and selling out venues and the interest is up. The interest is down. The interest in WWE is down. Jey Uso is a primary reason for that. The Bloodline is a primary reason for that. Cody is a primary reason for that. But like a typical pro wrestling company and like typical pro wrestling promoters, they don't give a fuck. They'll spew the narrative of, we don't give a shit what social media says. The only metric that we care about are the people in attendance. Motherfucker, if you go, let me do this live on air now. Let me do this live on air. I believe I still have the Google Chrome extension for WWE. I want to see what the dislike ratio is for the Jey Uso segment on SmackDown. Let's see. Brother, I don't give a fuck what Nick Khan, I don't give a fuck what Triple H says. Jey Uso, the YouTube video is on their WWE official page. Jey Uso beats Javon Evans to advance to the King of the Ring final. People want to use YouTube metrics to push how over or popular a segment or a performer is. People who dwell in the analytic part of the community, they'll always cite YouTube and Twitter and this and that. Bro, this video has 8,600 thumbs up. It has 32,000 thumbs down. Brother, that is over 40,000 people. If you don't think 40,000 people, and the last time we went through this, people accused someone of botting. YouTube usually takes a good solid 48 hours to reverse the dislike bot. When was the last time we saw this? With Cody? They didn't reverse shit. 32,000 dislikes for Jey Uso beating Javon Evans on SmackDown last night is a huge sample size of what people actually think of the WWE product and their vicious push of Jey Uso. Jey Uso is one of the primary reasons why the interest in the product is down. You can sit there and claim, oh, everybody's in the building eating. They're all having a great time. No, they're not. The audience is not having a majority great time. The people who pay to sit there like a bunch of fucking zombies are having a great time. The people like me who are tired of this and know better not to pay and not to shell out our hard-earned money are never going to sit there. We know what's up. We know what's up. Jey Uso beat Javon Evans via pinfall. No outside interference, no shenanigans, no fuck finish. Straight up. The OG Us beat, or I should say, the Unk. Unk Us beats the young OG. We'll pick it up after a commercial break. There were 2 breaks in this thing because it went 18 minutes. They don't know how to take only 1 commercial break. After the first break, Evans hit Jey with his big splash off the top rope. Second break. Evans is on the defensive. He got Jey up with an elbow to the face. He headed up top. Jey pushed him right out of the ring as he was sent flying into the barricade, and we go into another commercial break. So that was the last commercial break of the match. Evans launched himself and Jey through the air with a Spanish fly off the top rope. Only a 2 count. They go back and forth for a little bit, trading strikes. Evans gets the best of Jey Uso here. Big single leg drop kick. Evans got up. He was looking for the OG cutter. Jey avoided it, hit him with a super kick. Spear by Jey Uso. Evans kicks out. Evans dragged himself up. Intercepted Jey's spear attempt with a super kick of his own. This was followed by Evans. He got the red dot kick. He looked for the OG cutter. Jey tripped him up, got him with a spear. Now he's in position. Uso goes up top. Uso splash. It's over. Jey Uso advances to the finals of the King of the Ring and wrestles Oba Femi. The match itself, bro, Jey Uso's matches are laid out just awful. There's literally nothing interesting about it. He is just one of the most boring pro wrestlers in the whole fucking business. He is. And I'm speaking specifically as solo Jey Uso. Nobody expected Javon Evans to win here. Nobody expected Javon and Oba. If you expected Javon and Oba, you're not watching the same product that we are. Javon and Oba means Oba is going to the finals. Jey and Oba means Oba is not going to SummerSlam. It's basically what it boils down to. Javon and Oba means that Oba is not winning, or Javon and Oba, rather. That match doesn't mean Javon is going to SummerSlam. It would have made it way too obvious that Oba was going to win. Now, Jey and Oba ain't going to SummerSlam. Because if they wanted, if it was all Oba and Oba was going to SummerSlam, they would have given us Javon and Oba. But Oba is not going to SummerSlam, so they didn't give us Oba and Javon. They gave you Jey and Oba because in Triple H's weird and twisted, sick, demented mind, he thinks if 40,000 people dislike it on YouTube, and if 40,000 people are just absolutely sick and tired of Jey Uso, people are talking about it. People are engaging. People are in. They're invested. People are invested. But they're not invested in the way that you want people invested. People are upset. People are frustrated. People are sad. People are depressed. People are just over it. There are much more people like me who are just over professional wrestling. Over it. It sucks. 2025 was a terrible year for pro wrestling. There was nothing in 2025 that I would go back and relive and rewatch. 2026, believe it or not, is worse than 2025. I'm talking specifically about the two big companies here in the United States. Triple H thinks that Jey Uso and Oba Femi is going to get a lot of people talking, no matter if it's good, bad, or indifferent. He wants people talking. He thinks that this is unpredictable. If Oba wins this match, I'm shocked. Shocked. I don't think that's the case. If they wanted Oba to win the King of the Ring, then Javon Evans would have beat Jey Uso, and Oba Femi would have beat Javon Evans at Night of Champions, and Oba Femi would have went on to wrestle Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. It's not going to be that cut and dry. It's not going to be that simple. Now, Oba and Jey, I told you before, we're looking at two specific situations here. And I'm going to give it till Monday. And we'll be live at 5 o'clock on Monday. We'll be talking about this on Monday. If Brock Lesnar does not actively remove Oba Femi from the final of this tournament, and if we don't get a Randy Orton or CM Punk filling in the day of Night of Champions to wrestle Jey Uso in the finals as a replacement for Oba Femi, then Jey Uso is winning the King of the Ring tournament. And it's going to be ridiculous to see Jey Uso pin Oba Femi because Brock Lesnar interfered. Why would Brock interfere there? Why would Brock want to help Roman Reigns and the Roman Reigns bloodline? Maybe none of that matters to Brock Lesnar. But if Brock Lesnar doesn't actively remove Oba Femi from this tournament, as some people have predicted and have laid out, then Jey Uso's winning the King of the Ring. And Jey Uso's going to wrestle Cody Rhodes, or there's a slight possibility that he could wrestle Roman Reigns. And if you look at that as a main event for SummerSlam, then you are the very reason why this product is in the shithole that it's in. And if you're Triple H, who actively booked this tournament revolving around Jey Uso and the Bloodline, then you, my friend, should be actively removed from the creative department. Jey Uso and Roman Reigns did not have a good match the last time they wrestled. Jey Uso is primarily the reason why Gunther is in the situation that he's in. He never recovered. He went on to have an absolutely shit title reign. He could not handle the weight of being in the main event. Jey Uso is not the guy that should carry a title at the top of the brand. Now you want to try with him again because it's family? Because it's Cody? Brother, if CM Punk couldn't drag out a great match from Jey Uso, what makes you think that this time around is going to be any fucking different? And you sacrificed Gunther, of all people, for the Jey Uso narrative. Now you mean to tell me you want me to be okay with Oba Femi laying down for Jey Uso because Brock Lesnar cost Oba Femi, or potentially costs Oba Femi, the King of the Ring final? Why does Brock need to cost Oba anything? Why does Brock give a shit? He's got his win back. And like I mentioned before, I'm going to mention it again. If I'm Brock Lesnar, I'm having Oba squash Jey Uso. I'm having Oba win the King of the Ring. I'm having Oba challenge Roman. I'm having Oba beat Roman. Then I strike. Then I attack. You call me out, you call me a bitch, you want my head on your fucking mantle. Now you're the WWE champion. Here I am, bitch. So not only am I going to beat you again, I'm going to take your WWE title. What is in it for Brock Lesnar to attack Oba Femi and cost him the King of the Ring? What is in it for Brock? There's nothing in it for Brock. To do what? To wrestle Oba again? For what? Bragging rights? He won! He beat Oba already! He got what he wanted! What is in it for Brock to cost Oba this match in Saudi Arabia? Someone answer me this question. Someone answer me this question. Unless we are looking at it all wrong, LA Knight comes out and costs Jey Uso, and Oba Femi goes on to wrestle Roman Reigns. And Jey Uso goes on to wrestle LA Knight. Until I physically see it with my own eyes, I cannot fathom. I cannot fucking fathom that these people are this stupid. I cannot think that these people are as stupid as we all think they are. If they book Jey Uso in the main event of SummerSlam, chat, we have absolutely no hope for anything getting better. And the Bloodline stuff is going to continue to dominate from this point on, going all the way into WrestleMania next year. As evidenced by the thumbs down on the YouTube video, Jey Uso has 32,000 plus dislikes. Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, the Bloodline, Cody Rhodes, all of these people who WWE wants to fucking prop up as the biggest stars in the company are the primary reason why the interest in the overall product is fucking as low as it's ever been. Tell me when I am wrong. Otherwise, we'd all be glowing with excitement about the current WWE product like we were 2 years ago. We're not. Triple H better tread very lightly. He makes one wrong move next Sunday or next Saturday for Night of Champions. The entire community is going to be coming for his fucking balls. Main event. Before we get to the main event, Jacob Fatu. He runs into Solo Sikoa backstage. Solo says that he's figured it all out. Roman Reigns sent Jacob here so he can get in Solo's head and stick his nose into his business. Solo is a message for the tribal chief. If Roman continues to mess around with Solo's family, then maybe he needs to come to Raw to start to mess with his family. It's bad enough we get the MFTs on Friday. Now we're going to get the MFTs on Monday. Yeah, you think this current creative direction is where it's all at, huh? Tiffany Stratton's backstage with Kathy Kelly. Tiffany knows that Jade is desperate for another title. Tiffany proceeds to accept Jade's challenge for Night of Champions. The difference between Tiffy and Jade is that Tiffy doesn't need lousy sidekicks to do the work for her. On cue, Chelsea Green joins the interview. Chelsea apologizes for being late. Chelsea says that her and Tiffy are equals, unlike B-Fab and Meechin. What is Chelsea doing? Chelsea says that they're mapping out their road to stardom. Tiffy didn't forget that Chelsea called her tacky time for an entire year. Chelsea watched people beat Tiffany up. She kicked her while she's down, and now she wants to be friends. Tiffany says that she doesn't need Chelsea's help. I can do this by myself. Are we looking at Chelsea versus Tiffany Stratton for the United States Championship at SummerSlam? Brie Bella and Paige had a vignette. They got that tag team title match in London against Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. We see Fatal Influence. JC Jane is upset about what happened last week because they lost clean. Apparently, rules don't apply to Brie Bella and Paige, who she referred to as so-called legends. Lainey Reed calls Brie and Paige pathetic. Fatal Influence had Brie and Paige exactly where they wanted them last week. Fatal Influence are still coming for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles regardless of who wins on Monday. JC says that she's marching into Nick Aldis's office and is demanding to have a match with Paige next week on SmackDown. JC hopes that Paige is ready to be embarrassed in front of her friends and family because that's what happens when you mess with Fatal Influence. That'll be Paige's first singles match in WWE since returning. Uso runs into Cody Rhodes backstage. Cody says congratulations on the victory. Jey has one more match to go, and he says that he's going to blitz QB1 at SummerSlam. Cody tells Jey not to forget about Oba. And besides, I'm easy to find. Jey sees Sami Zayn. Jey says he's been seeing Sami crash out every week. Sami says that's not what he's doing, and I'm not doing great. Sami's happy to see Jey succeed, though. Sami believes that Jey will win the King of the Ring and face the WWE Champion at SummerSlam. However, it won't be Cody Rhodes that Jey Uso is facing. It will be me. Jey tells Sami that he's going to do what he has to do if that's the case. Sami wants Jey to say hi to the family for him. I know that might sound intriguing to some geeks out there. Sami versus Jey Uso for the WWE Championship. No, it's not a SummerSlam main event for a two-night extravaganza in Minneapolis. Charlotte Flair runs into Jade, Cargill, B-Fab, and Michin outside of gorilla position. Jade says that the only reason Charlotte is in this spot is because of her friend, Tiffany Stratton. Charlotte gets offended and says, Tiffany's not my friend. Jade says that Charlotte doesn't belong here. It's cute coming from Jade. Of all people, Charlotte doesn't belong, says Jade Cargill. Cute. Charlotte says that Jade would be better off finding friends who are more effective. And guess what? Jade can beat Charlotte in the Queen of the Ring next year. Charlotte tells Jade to keep moving. So B-Fab chop blocks Charlotte as she was walking towards gorilla position. They all three viciously stomp on the left knee. This looked very lame. This looked very weak. I mean, if you wanted to really do more damage to Charlotte, maybe you should have did a little bit more of a believable attack here. Alexa Bliss and Nick Aldis come to check on Charlotte. Liv Morgan comes and she's like, sucks to be you. And she walks through gorilla and she comes out, makes her entrance. So Liv Morgan cuts a promo. She's in the ring first. Oh, Charlotte, I know how badly you want to be Queen of the Ring. It's just a shame that your run stops here. I don't care about how many championships that you've won or what you've done in the past, because that's exactly what you are, the past. This tournament is all about proving who's the best of the best. Sure. And unfortunately, Charlotte, it's just not you anymore. So tonight, I'm coming to SmackDown to show you what happens when you're in the presence of the greatest women's champion of all time. You know, I don't think that is statistically correct to use if you're Liv Morgan. You can't call yourself the greatest women's champion of all time. Oh, but JD, she's a heel, JD. You can't statistically use that as your catchphrase or your tagline or whatever you want to call it when you've had 0 title defenses since WrestleMania. It doesn't work that way. So we get this match. Charlotte is compromised, which obviously led to the ending of this match. Morgan went right after the hurt knee as she was entering the ring. Aldis tried to convince Flair not to go through with the match. Charlotte says she didn't care. It's worth the risk. The bell rings. Charlotte had her leg taken out again by Liv. Outside, Morgan slams Flair's leg against the LED apron and then threw her into the steel steps. Weak. Go to a commercial. We come back from the commercial. Flair is punching Morgan. Liv continued to target the knee and made that the story of her focus here, slamming it across the LED ring post. In the ring, suplex by Liv on Charlotte. The knee, the leg bounced off the bottom rope. So they're really working that leg angle. Last week it was Charlotte's hand or wrist, and now it's the knee. So Flair fought back with a suplex, had it up top, connected with a weak diving crossbody on Liv for a near fall. So they both exchanged strikes. Elbow to the face by Flair. Signature chops. Woo! Liv, Irish whip, caused Charlotte Flair to just fall to her knees. Morgan leapt from the middle rope. That was intercepted by a big boot by Charlotte. Charlotte goes for a cover here as quickly as she can. 2 count. Well, she's now climbing up to the top rope or limping up to the top rope, hobbling up to the top rope. She looked for her moonsault, which I don't know how she was going to do that on one leg. Even commentary said, she going to attempt a moonsault with one leg? She couldn't get it. Morgan connected on a powerbomb. And we go right into another second final commercial break. Morgan is still in control. She's on the second turnbuckle. Looked for a frog splash. Flair got the knees up. Figure 4 blocked by Morgan. Followed by a backstabber on Flair and another 2 count. So Flair is really selling the pain of the knee. Morgan shot blocked her left knee again. Morgan trapped Flair across the top rope and stomped on the knee over and over and over again. Natural selection from the middle rope out of nowhere by Charlotte. Only a 2 count. Flair finally was able to lock in a figure 4 with the bum knee, which allowed Liv to briefly reverse the figure 4, and then she got the rope break. Another shot blocked by Morgan, and then took time to apply a single leg crab. Flair tried to get to the bottom rope to break the hold. Flair rolled outside as the medical crew and Alexa Bliss checked on her. Morgan pulled at Flair and got dropped across the middle rope. Morgan connected with Oblivion. Flair somehow kicked out. And then we got a submission hold. I don't know what Liv did. It looked like some mixture of a crossface and whatever. It looked like a crossface to me. Morgan got the submission, and she made Charlotte Flair with the bum knee tap out. I don't know. She did this thing where she wrapped Liv's legs up and kind of put some pressure on the knee and kind of snapped her back. And Liv ended up tapping Charlotte Flair out. And that's the way we go off the air with Friday Night SmackDown. Cody and Gunther did not main event. They opted to main event with Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair. Jey Uso and Javon Evans didn't main event. They opted to main event with Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair. I don't understand why. Why? The WWE Championship should be the last thing on the night. It's the biggest storyline on the show. It's the most important thing going on. And it's the biggest title in the company. It should be the last thing that we see. Not Charlotte Flair and Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is in the finals with Io. WWE has now set up Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill for the WWE 2-night SummerSlam that we're about to get in Minneapolis. Tiffany Stratton was out there to help Charlotte. They all have a problem with Jade and the not-so-baddies. Jade blamed Tiffany. Jade is upset at Charlotte. Jade wants the United States title now, and then she'll worry about Charlotte. Charlotte and Jade is happening at SummerSlam, which was directly set up here. You took Charlotte out of the tournament to set up Jade and Charlotte. What this means for Rhea, I don't know. Hopefully Rhea is able to go by SummerSlam. I would be worried and upset if that's not the case. Because at that point, then the Women's Championship is going to be in a not so good situation. Hopefully she's ready. They're doing Liv and Io. I don't like Liv in the final. I don't like Liv in the tournament. The tournament should be used to find somebody to wrestle either Rhea or Liv. But people are going to overlook the fact that Liv is in the tournament, and they're not going to really question why Liv is in the tournament because Liv is on TV wrestling. Liv is on TV winning as women's champion. The problem is WWE only put Liv in the tournament because they're so fucking clueless and they're so inept as to what to do with Liv Morgan that when Stephanie Vaquer went down with injury, WWE had absolutely no other plans or any desire to create any other plans for Liv Morgan as the women's champion. They basically tucked their tails and their heads in between their legs, and they hoped that it would all kind of work itself out. So the only reason why Liv is in the tournament is because WWE had no other ideas for Liv Morgan as the world champion, and now we sit with Liv Morgan and 70 days or so into this championship reign with zero defenses. Zero. It's not really what I call championship material. Now you're realistically giving me the final in Saudi for what could very well be the SummerSlam Women's Championship match in Minneapolis. If I see it here on Saturday, why do I want to see it again in Minneapolis? That's the way WWE thinks. I'm more interested in Io winning and wrestling Rhea. I don't give a fuck about Io and Liv. I don't give a shit about Liv, period. And I think she's largely very good. Just the way that she's been booked. That makes me not care. WWE has botched these tournaments. WWE has primarily used the Queen of the Ring to get Liv Morgan into a wrestling role because they don't have anything else for her to do. They've used the Queen of the Ring to sell us on Judgment Day slop with Roxanne and Raquel. And they used the Queen of the Ring tournament to get us Jade and Charlotte for SummerSlam. None of this has to do with building up the future, getting us the best matches, finding Liv an opponent for SummerSlam. When Liv is in the finals of the tournament, how are we going to find Liv an opponent for SummerSlam? If you look at this Queen of the Ring tournament as any sort of success, you're fucking mental. You're clueless. This has done nothing out of the ordinary. It's given no opportunities to anybody new. It's not given a foundation and a spotlight to anybody on the roster. None. But what do I know? What do I know? We got Jey Uso in the finals against Oba Femi, more than likely going to win the King of the Ring. And we got Liv Morgan and Io Sky, with Liv Morgan being the women's champion in the finals of a tournament that is set up to find her an opponent. Brother, if you find this to be where we legitimately need to be for creative in WWE, this is the primary reason why the product is as uninteresting as it is. Garbage. On one hand, you could look at SmackDown setting up things for what's to come, and they've put the pieces where they need to. Cody and Gunther, you can call them geeks, and Sami Zayn, him being the special guest referee. I liked largely what they did there. SmackDown is the worst show on television, next to AEW Dynamite. This wasn't as bad as it's been in previous weeks, but bro, if the show is going back to 2 hours, man, we got to change things drastically. We do. I can only hope at 2 hours it's going to get better. Thank you very much for all of your support. If you guys did enjoy tonight's live stream, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. We have 2,200 people in here, man. That's fucking great. I didn't really expect that on a Saturday night, but thank you guys very much. We're going to get into your super chats right now. Read all through your questions, comments, and concerns, thoughts, opinions. I want to thank you guys very much. The next time you see me live will be Monday afternoon for the Monday Night Raw post show. We are back on the European swing of things. 2 p.m. start time for Monday Night Raw. So I'll be live around 5 o'clock on Monday afternoon. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all the content. Got another great week of content coming up. Another great week of streams coming up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of SmackDown. And tonight we're sponsored by Blue Chew, as always. BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. Make sure you guys go and check out Blue Chew Gold. Code JD at checkout. When you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you're going to get the 3rd month for free. Using that promo code JD at checkout. And a little bit of additional perks for you. When you use that promo code JD, not only are you going to get that 3rd month for free, you're going to receive an additional 10% off and free overnight shipping on your first order. BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. I want to thank them for once again sponsoring the show right here on Off the Script. Let's get to these super chats. You guys killed it tonight, man. You guys did very well for a Saturday night stream, man. Thank you. Thank you guys very much. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. OTS, JD, flying all gas, no brakes with it. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Fast Eddie with a $4.99. Awesome show last night. JD, House of Glory Inferno was another banger show. Bro, we don't know anything else, man. They're all banger shows. Thank you, Fast Eddie. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Hopefully you guys enjoy the commentary that me and Jason provide on those nights. We love it very, very, very much. Joseph Taylor, the $1 super chat. Thank you, Joseph Taylor. Chicago 4MBK with a $10 super chat. My first Hawk show last night. Wear my new TNT shirt. Electric matches and crowd, and every match had a story to it, too. Red and Sosa were great. So was Mason and Nemeth. And props to Ali as well. Yes. My God, Mustafa Ali. And Rich Swann, man. Fucking awesome. I saw you, bro. I saw you wearing your TNT shirt, man. From the balcony, I saw, man. I spied TNT shirt. I told Jason, like, look, TNT merch. Thank you, my friend. Jay Gordo with a $5 super chat. What's up, JD? Happy Father's Day to all the good fathers out there. Cheers to the kings and future kings. Cheers to you, JD. Fuck the yeet. OTS for life. Thank you, Gordo. Best in one, Matt with a 21 months. I appreciate the hustle and grind on a Saturday covering a show that you didn't have to. That's why you and OTS are the best of the best of the best. Thank you, Matt. I didn't have to. I wanted to. Consistency goes a long way around here. Tone VC with a $20 super chat simply says, thanks, JD. Thank you, Tone VC. Major Emotions with a $1.99. I thought the show was great. It flowed well. I wouldn't necessarily use the term great. Cody Snyder with a $5 super chat. Jimmy, Solo, Jacob, or Rock will be winning the Rumble, huh? I don't know. Way too early to even predict something like that. Trev with a $20 super chat. What's up, JD? TJ here again. If the WWE does the unthinkable and have Oba beat Brock on night 1 of SummerSlam and then have Oba beat Roman for the title on night 2, what would be next for Oba after SummerSlam? I have no question. I already talked about that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. An Oba-Roman match should get everybody's undivided attention, and if you're going to split Oba's attention with Brock and Roman at the same time, no. No. What, so Roman can just not do anything and deal with his family drama? No. Now, it's one or the other. We don't do both. They have nothing to do with each other either. At least at WrestleMania 40, everybody was kind of intertwined. Brock and Oba have nothing to do with Oba and Roman. Nothing. Major Motions with a 199. Bald or wig, Jade is still the baddest ever. Eric Payne with a $20 super chat. No message. Thank you, Eric. KG with a 5. Jey Uso is over. The crowd loves him. Get over it, Marks, and stop making burners and buying bots to dislike a YouTube video. Touch grass. But KG's a brainless fucking geek. The 5 represents not his super chat, but his IQ levels. Jey Uso isn't over. Jey Uso is fucking garbage. Everybody sees it, and most importantly, everybody knows it. The marks are the ones. Those are the marks. KG might very well be a Jey Uso burner account. Michelle with a $5 super chat. Which is worse, Bloodline versus MFTs on both shows to bore us to death, or Roman and Jey world champions? Either way, TV not looking good for WWE. KG, get this guy out of here. Goodbye. Thanks for the $5 super chat, bro. I'll be on my way to my favorite coffee shop in town to buy myself a yogurt bowl and a nice large vanilla latte tomorrow on your dime. Appreciate you, bro. Inferno, thank you, my brother. $100 times 2 coming in here, dropping bombs on a Saturday night. Jake Dog with a $2 super chat. Hey, JD, I met EC3 this Wednesday at an indie show. I'm curious as to why I'm supposed to be wowed by this information. Thank you, Jake. DJ Boat with a 199. Older than 35 equals unk status. I now know. Bankroll season with a 199. Jordan Grace has the worst theme song, JD. She does. It's awful. What does Jordan Grace's theme song say? I'm ready to fight. Or whatever the fuck it was. What does it say? What AI-generated voice slop do they have in the beginning of Jordan Grace's theme song? I always prevail, or some stupid fucking shit like that. Grant with a $2 super chat. So bored of this Jey narrative. Wake up, Paul! Is that what it says? It's not over until I win. Oh my God, man. It's like they gave her theme song, like, you remember playing WrestleMania, the arcade game, and you go over each character and they'll give like a little promo, right? It's not over until I win. And then you go to Jordan Grace's character. God, that's fucking awful. Gee, I wonder why she's not over. Cake with a 50 months. I finally hit the coyote number. Bloodline Boda will give you every reason why LA Knight and Cody are mid-carders while saying Jey should win King of the Ring. I'm assuming you mean Bloodline bots, not Boda? Yes, Bloodline bots will give you every reason why LA Knight and Cody are mid-carders while saying Jey should win King of the Ring. Yes, absolutely. Grant with the $2 super chat. Could we see Fatu take out Oba Monday? To do what? To do what? Why would Fatu take out Oba when they have never crossed paths? The Joker's voice with a $5 super chat. Are we overlooking someone behind the scenes possibly insisting that all this bloodline resurgence? Board of directors, friend of Ari and Nick Khan. Bro, Coach? Who said it? Didn't Coachman say it when we were live with the Toucan that Ari loves this bloodline stuff? Ari loves this bloodline stuff. This is he knows this is his bread and butter. Bloodline, Rock's family, preferential treatment, Roman. It's all garbage. It is all garbage. Coil Phoenix with the 53 months. I'm for Sami finally getting the world title, but does he need to be a part of a triple threat when we all know he can win it on his own? I like the triple threat. I'm not sure he wins the championship because I just don't think that Cody is walking into the biggest show of the summer without the belt. I just don't see that happening. Trey, 38 months. This shit sucks. I agree, Trey. Very much. J-Ray with a $5 super chat. You and Solomonster should really consider moving Titans to Thursday. That way y'all can cover more news in real time. Just a suggestion. I don't know. It is something I have to talk to him about. Something I have to talk to him about. Maybe we reshuffle things after the summer. We'll see. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. Your best pick, Orton Punk to take Oba's spot. Punk. CM Punk. CM Punk is going to be at Fanatics Fest. And they've already kind of sent the marketing out for that. So Punk will be back on television soon. And you are starting to see that with his inclusion in Fanatics Fest. All right, guys, I'm about to get out of here. You guys have killed it tonight, man. I didn't really expect much from a Saturday night stream for Friday Night SmackDown, but that's why we are the best of the best of the best, man. You guys are great. Thank you very much. Justin Toner coming in with a late $20 super chat. Another great show, JD. Cody, Sami, Gunther, stuff I like. On his podcast, AJ Styles sang the praises of Kendall Gray. Said she's the Chad Gable of the women's division. Kendall teased Kurt Angle's themed gear for Great American Bash. Kendall's fucking awesome. She's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, women's wrestlers right now in all of WWE. She's going to be an absolute top-level star in the years to come. Big Dave Meltzer even loves Kendall Gray. That says a lot. That says a lot. Thank you guys for a great stream, man. You guys killed it tonight. I'll be back on Monday. Remember, 2 p.m. Monday Night Raw start. I'll be watching live at 2 p.m. We'll be live early in the afternoon. Should be fun. Should be fun. Then we got a big week, man. Tuesday Night Titans, 2 Count, Dynamite. We got a lot of wrestling next weekend. Night of Champions, Slammiversary, Forbidden Door. Going to be a busy week. So make sure you guys keep it right here with OTS, man. We're rocking and rolling. We're having a decent June. And that's all thanks to you guys. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go and check out all the great content on the channel. There is plenty of it. Plenty of it. Get caught up on what happened this week. And again, thank you to everybody that showed up at Logan Square Auditorium in Chicago for HOG Inferno last night. Had a pleasure meeting and talking to some of you guys. As always, the support means the world to me and Jason. Can't wait to do it again. We love Chicago, and we got some big plans coming up with HOG for the rest of the year, man. So stay tuned. Until Monday, I'll see you guys right back here with more. We're in London on Monday for Monday Night Raw right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.